All right, we'll just go ahead and start. I have everybody muted just because sometimes it gets crazy. I know you guys are still running your businesses and you may have to step away to take care of a customer or whatever, no problem. If you have any questions, there's a chat box, um, and I'll type something to you guys here, chat here. And that chat box, you can put in any questions you have. If there's anything specific you'd like me to go over pertaining to EasyOrder or just any questions in general, just let me know through the chat. I'll open it up to everybody at the end, and we can all, ask questions if there is any. This is our weekly webinar series. We did this last year, and it seemed to be something that everybody enjoyed. I see a lot of my regulars are here, Lisa and Bill and Leo. So, hey, Lisa. So basically, we're just going to talk different parts about EasyOrder, and then I'm going to also talk about sales. Sales is something that everybody has to do. It's one of those things where, not everybody's a great salesperson, but anybody can sell stuff. And it just takes a couple of, tried and true things for you to do to, be a good salesperson. So we're going to talk about going after new business, how to optimally go after the right kind of customer. And then we're going to talk about how you can respond with EasyOrder and get the best result of your sales efforts. So one of the things that we talk about in sales is obviously you have to be consistent with your approach. A lot of people will sell when the business is not doing really well, or you have some free time, that sort of thing, but you really have to make it part of your daily ritual. I gotta let Jesse in here. There you go. So you really have to make sales part of your daily ritual. You have to carve out time for sales, because a lot of times you just get too busy and you're putting out fires for your business and you don't make time to sell. And it takes a consistent effort of putting that business into the pipeline in order for your pipeline to be full all the time. So you definitely don't want to wait until, like I said, either sales are down or you have some extra free time. Make that part of your daily ritual. Let me get back onto this. The other thing that you want to do in sales is you want to target the customers who are really going to be good customers. A lot of times people just kind of take whatever business that comes their way or whatever they bump into in life, and that's great and all, and you can definitely, that's the low-hanging fruit of business. But what you want to do is think about people who print a ton. And I know you guys offer more than just printing. So some people do IT, some people, you have to differentiate your services, but go after those customers who are going to be good yielding customers for you. You think about who prints: lawyers, car dealerships, there's tons of potential in those spaces, and you actually have to, go out and target the customers you want. The number one thing that you have to do in sales is, you're selling yourself more than you're selling your product. And so as you talk to potential customers, they're actually buying from you because of you. You can get ink and toner cartridges anywhere. It's a commodity. And so, you're selling yourself, you're selling the fact that you're going to be there if they have any problems, versus a website like Amazon, who is just going to give them the cheapest, cartridge. You're really there to consult with them. If they have printers that they need to swap out, or if they're coming up and have the old printers, you guys are consultants to them. So you're really selling yourself more than you're selling an ink or a toner cartridge. And so you really have to believe in yourself, be confident when you walk in there and talk to people, and make sure that you put your best foot forward. You have to look nice. You have to be the salesperson that you would buy something from. And a lot of this is just kind of basic, sales stuff. But it's important, because a lot of people don't have the confidence to go and just talk to whoever, and don't have the confidence to reach out to the right customer that's going to give you the best yield. Don't waste your time on customers who take up a lot of your time but don't give you much as far as their business goes. If you have a customer that buys 1 or 2 cartridges, but they talk to you for 30 minutes to an hour at their office just because they're very talkative people, they like you, they want to talk to you, you're wasting time, talking to that person because they're a qualified customer, but you're really not getting anything from them. So be mindful of your time when you're talking to people, and don't let people monopolize your time as well. The other thing that a lot of people don't do, and I don't get this, especially with EasyOrder, is responding to a request for quote, an RFQ, request for quote, in the fastest way you can. So if you're able to respond in the same workday, that's great. If you wait till you come home and you do quotes, after you get home, you can do it then. But always respond to the customer within 24 hours. And you guys have the system, to do that. We'll jump over to EasyOrder real quick. And one of the things, and I know you guys probably all use, the system to quote, and it really is a really robust, system for quoting. And if you follow this kind of practice, and everybody does quotes, differently. Some people like to hand deliver the quote, which is an old school way, but still works. I definitely always say that no matter what you do, you definitely want to send the quote through EasyOrder, because you gain some functionality that you wouldn't have normally if you were to just send a quote. So this is our quote system. You guys are familiar with this. I already have one created with an item on it. I'm going to preview the quote real quick. Well, that's the simple version of the quote. Let me switch to the advanced. By the way, for those who don't know, we have a simple quote, which looks like this. So if you're going to print the quote and you just want a simple quote to print out and hand to somebody, the simple quote will do. Doesn't take a lot of ink when you print it, that sort of thing. But I always suggest that you use this advanced quote template. When you use the advanced quote template, it just looks a lot more substantial. You also get this annual orders tab that comes up, and you can, say I order this, 3 times a year. And so when you look at the quote now, you're going to see this is going to have your banner at the top of the page. It has a little bit more info. It has a, thank you for your quote message, and a thing about your guarantee. And then you have things like, retail price, your price, savings, all that kind of stuff. Here's that annual savings there. So instead of saying, you could save $204 if you ordered this set of cartridges, you can say, well, over the course of the year, if you order this 3 times, you're going to save $600 buying from me versus buying from anybody else. So advanced quote template, this is great. You send it out. There's a new feature on this, by the way, just so you guys know. This block of text, a lot of you guys like to write your own messages. And so it would appear below this block of text. And so you would have this text, and that would be it. Now there's a new feature that we have to where you can take these quote comments, and you can click yes to show only these comments here, and it won't show that block of comments. It'll just show your personal message. So if you wanted to personalize a message to a customer here, you can do that. And there's also a way, if you want to always have this message in there for the customer, you can go into your settings and then go to quote and type out your message, or copy and paste your message from here, and then that'll be on every quote going forward. So you can definitely take off that that message here that we have. So this is the quote, and what I'm talking about is the methodology of how we suggest you quote people is always email this quote to the customer, because even if you hand deliver it or show up in their office or whatever else, we have some functionality in this quote that allows you to close really strong. And that's kind of the next slide is, close strong. And so what I mean by close strong is normally when you have a request for quote and you send this back to the customer, you may say in your message here or wherever, you send the email, you may say, hey, call me if this looks good, call me when you need something. And that's okay. You're sending a quote out. Obviously, quotes are numbers games. You're not going to close every single quote. The more quotes you send out, obviously, the better results you're going to have in converting those customers into real paying customers. But we have some techniques through our quote system that can put you in a better spot at the end of the sales process. And so this is kind of what we suggest you do with our quote. So if you send the quote to the customer, don't send it when you're done with the quote at 9 at night. It's going to be buried in their inbox in the morning, and they may not see it. They may go to, open their email, and 20 other people had emailed them, between you sending it and them getting the quote. So what I suggest you do is when you finish the quote, call the customer up or, message the customer and say, hey, is there a good time that I can go over the quote with you? Because they've already said that they can, you can quote them. And if you get back to them in a short amount of time, like in the same business day even, they still remember you, everything's fresh in their mind, they'll, have more likely that they'll talk to you and allow you to go over this quote with them. And so send the quote out to the customer right when you decide that you guys are going to talk. So when the customer says, yeah, call me back at 3 or whatever else, you send the customer right at, the quote right at 3. And so it's fresh in the customer's inbox. You call them up, hey, I just want to go over this quote I just sent you. And then you go through the quote, basically you talk about whatever you want to talk about. How about your company, the quality of your cartridges, things like that, the difference between you and some of these things you see online with the cheap cartridges. Our cartridges are quality. We don't like to give you things that fail. And so, our cartridges are not the cheapest cartridge, but they're guaranteed to work. And if they don't work, I'll, fix it for you. I'll be here. I'm not a faceless e-commerce website. So you go over all that kind of business stuff with them. And then you go over their cartridges, retail price versus your price, how much they're going to save per cartridge. Some of the savings can be pretty big. And then you get down to the annual. And here's the thing that's different about, our quote system. And this is how you should be quoting people. When you get to the end of that quote period and you're talking to the customer on the phone, and it's important that you do go over this quote with them. If you just send out the quote and hope they do business with you, that's not going to produce the yields that you want. So at the end of our quote process, see, we have this show order form button at the bottom of the page. Now, a lot of people will ask for the sale, or they'll tell you to just go for the close, and that's okay. I mean, if you want to ask the customer, hey, do you need anything today? Can I get any of these cartridges for you right now to have a backup set or whatever? Some people think that's a little pushy. Some people don't like to get sold really hard, like a used car salesman type deal. And so, what we suggest you do is just tell the customer at the end of the quote process, okay, now you're looking at your quote. Do you see that show order form button at the bottom of the screen? And they'll say, yeah. And just say, okay, I want you to click on that because I want to show you how to order from us. You're not asking for the sale. You're not asking them to do anything crazy. You're basically saying, when you need something, let me show you how it works with our company. And so click on that button. And when they click on that button, it will instantly convert this quote from this PDF quote. And I have it in my email right here so I can show you what it looks like. So here's the quote. It gets sent in very simple, plain text email, so it gets past spam filters and spam blockers, and we attach the quote as a PDF. And so this PDF has this link embedded into it that's the show order form button. And when the customer actually clicks on that flat PDF, it will basically show them this. It will convert that quote into a working order form. So that quote that we just saw, you can tell the customer, when you clicked on that, it opened up a web browser for you, and now you're looking at your order form with us. And so they're like, whoa, because that's going from kind of a simple process of quoting to now all of a sudden they have this customized order form with you. And they're pretty impressed at this point because it's probably better than anybody else coming to them, to try to sell them product is going to do for them. So they're pretty impressed by this quote process, and just say, hey, when you need to order, just put quantities next to what you need, click review order, and then you can click send order. And so put me into that because I'm an administrator and it didn't go through with that. But anyway, it would normally send the order through, and you could get the order. Lisa says, can we get rid of the need service button? I believe there is a way to do that under store settings. Let me look. Yes, right here. You can take that off, and then that will be gone. So what Lisa is asking is, can we get rid of the need service button? The need service button is where, let's go back to an order form. Catco, order form, view order form. So you can see now that the need service button's gone. Oh, it should be gone. I think that I didn't do it for this particular customer. But anyway, you can, I didn't save it. That's what happened when I went there. But anyway, if I would have saved it, this button would be gone and the customer doesn't need to request service for that printer. But Lisa, just check in your settings. Make sure you save it, because I didn't save it, and that's why I didn't take it off the order form. So anyway, getting back to sales. So, when your customer clicks on that button, that show order form button, it definitely shows them that you mean business. This is a really cool system. And once they click on that button, they get a welcome email. Once they get the welcome email, you can tell them, hey, when you clicked on that button, I sent you a welcome email. There's an icon that you can download that goes on your computer's desktop. Let's trying to get out of this, and they can download this icon to their desktop. It'll be branded to your business, of course. And you want to get this icon on their desktop. So if you can get the time to explain about the welcome email, you can. If not, you can just say, hey, you just got sent a welcome email, follow the instructions. You can download an icon to get back to this quote. So you don't have to remember my name, my phone number. You don't have to keep my business card around. You don't have to print the quote and keep it around. You don't have to find it in your email when you need something. All you have to do is just click on, your icon when you're ready to order, and it takes you right to your order form. No usernames, no passwords, anything like that. The typical EasyOrder kind of spiel on that. So, you really want to get the customer, on the, from the quote, you want to make sure the customer can click on that show order form button, and I'm trying to do two things at once, and get that icon on their desktop. If you can get that icon on their desktop, they're much closer to being a permanent customer than anything else. So respond quickly to a quote. Make sure you follow up with the customer and respond to that quote within 24 hours. I mentioned this a little bit before, but I know a lot of you guys have to compete with customers on price points because the internet has these cheap cartridges, and it really is your job to educate your customer that, and I mentioned this a little bit before, but you're not Amazon. These are, not Chinese cartridges that are cheap. These are, I have good quality cartridges. And so don't always sell on price. Don't be afraid to, don't give discounts. Don't be afraid to, stick to your price, because you guys have quality products and you have to believe in that product. We went back close strong, assume the sale. Part of what I just was talking about is assuming the sale, assuming the customer will do business with you. If you go in with the thing, well, the customer, you may do business with me, so call me when you need something. That's not very confident, not a good way to close the sales process. So if you assume the sale and you make them click on that show order form button, you show them how you take orders, then it's going to be a much stronger close than anything else. And then the last thing is, if you don't hear from them, in a timely manner, follow up with them. I mean, just because you gave them a quote once, that's not the end of the sales process. That's not the end of the relationship. A lot of people are too scared to call the customer back or to follow up with the customer because they think they're bugging them, and they're not. One technique that I do when I'm selling EasyOrder to different people who sell ink and toner is, if I just get their voicemail of the person I need to speak to, I'll tell them when I'm calling them back. So I'll say, if I don't hear from you by Friday, I'll give you a call the following Monday. And so when I call them Monday, I have an excuse to call them because I told them that I was going to call them. And if I don't get them that time, I'll say, okay, well, I'll check on back on you, next Friday. And I just keep that going until they either tell me to go away or, I get them off my customer list. So another thing that a lot of people don't do is about the follow-up. I do want to show you in EasyOrder, you have some tools that will help you follow up with the customer. So a lot of times it's hard to follow up with the customer because you're doing so many other things. So we built some tools in here under marketing tools that will help you keep in front of your customers. So if you go to marketing tools and you go to automated emails, and these are all off by default. So if you've never been here, if you're like, oh, I've never seen that before, these are all turned off for you, and these could probably really help you with your customers and following up and different things like that. So if you see here, there's a couple of different tabs for different emails. So everybody automatically gets this order email. Thank you for your order online with our company. We appreciate everything. And you can actually change this. So if you wanted to put your own text in here, just don't change anything that says like vendor company name. Don't feel like you need to put your business name in there because the system will dynamically pull your business name in. So don't worry about changing anything that looks like this in these emails because, like I said, the system's going to do that for you, but you can change any of the other text. So here's what I was talking about, quote follow-up. And again, if you've never had this on or never seen this, it's set to no right now. So if you turn this on, this email will be sent 7 days after the quote was sent that was not converted into an order. So if you can't get the customer to click on show order form, you don't have the time, they just want the quote, they don't want to talk to you any more than that. You'll get customers like that, no doubt. You can turn this on for everybody, and then basically what this will do is send them a follow-up email after 7 days that just says, thank you for completing your quote with us. We appreciate your interest. We're here to help you save money. And again, you can change all this verbiage, just don't change the kind of HTML parts, and then everything will be fine in your emails. But this helps you follow up with the customer. So again, in 7 days, the system's going to send an email out for you. You also probably, if you get a notification in the to-do list that you send an email out to somebody automatically, you probably want to follow up with them anyway. Give them a call. Just say, hey, I just followed up with you on this, email, and Jim in here. Hey, Jim. So the system just followed up for you with this email, and so it really helps you so you don't have to worry about following up. Also, we have order frequency follow-ups. So again, if you don't have this turned on, if you've never seen this before, it'll be set to no. You just set to yes, and so the system's going to be following up on the customer. So the order frequency is set for the customer when you set them up. So going to show you where that is. You go into manage customers, and then you just go into order forms, and you just click on the name because that's how you edit the data or the info for the customer. Down here, it'll say order frequency, and so you can set the number of days, 30 days, 90 days, 120 days, whatever their normal order frequency is, and then that automated email will go out to the customer whenever they reach that threshold. And so you'll always get notifications of these things in your to-do list. The to-do list is really important. Sorry, my phone's going off. The to-do list is really important because anything that happens in your EasyOrder account is going to be here. We recommend that you guys check this to-do list at least twice a day. Lisa asked a question about the order frequency. Basically, there's two parts of it. You can do a days and you can do a percentage. So if they start ordering less than their normal percentage of items in the cart, if you set like a 50% threshold, when they start ordering less than they normally do with the percentage, it'll send them a notification, send you a notification, send them a notification. And then the days one is separate from the percent. Most people use the days instead of the percent, but you can be there. Leo asks, is there a way to set the order frequency with the click a button for all your customers? I don't think we have a way to do that, just because it would give the people a way to quickly erase everything that they've set up for people in the past. And so if everybody had different order frequency days, and you hit this button to kind of do a full, I want to do 90 days for everybody, then it could destroy that. So we don't, I think, have that feature in here. Let me look. We got the lease reminder. Yeah, I don't think we have it for the order frequency. If you do want to set any of your things for all your customers, just contact us, and I can have my guys do that on the back end for you, set everybody to 90 days or whatever. So just contact me, and if that's something you want to do, we'll do that for you. The reason we don't let people do it, because people could not understand the feature and then change that and save it, and then it wipes out everybody's customization of the number of days. So we don't have that as a feature in there, but we can definitely do that for you. Okay, so the other thing we're going to talk about is social selling. Social selling is important. This is something you can do when you're not really able to leave the office. You could sit down while you're having your coffee in the morning, and you could do some social selling. So everybody needs to get a LinkedIn account. If you don't have it, it's like your business card for the internet nowadays. So if you don't have a LinkedIn account, get one, and then start to fill out your profile. Make sure that it looks good. You have a professional picture, and then as you go through here and you link to the people you can go through and like somebody's post. If they do a video, you can comment on it, and the more that you see people see your name out there, especially if you're linking to customers instead of peers in the industry. I tend to link to different people in the ink and toner industry, but if you're linking to your customers, make sure that you encourage them, you like their posts, you make a little comment, you post yourself. It doesn't have to be the kind of canned normal post. You can post about anything, but take time to get out there with your social networks. LinkedIn is the best one, just because it really is focused on business. People expect you to be talking about your business on LinkedIn, and so make sure you do that. If you want to take it a step further, you can go into the Sales Navigator. This is the LinkedIn Professional version. You have to pay for this, but here, for example, you can look for CPAs, and you can search for particular customers. So if you wanted to get doctors' offices, or CPAs, or car dealerships, or lawyers, you can start to target specific customers, and then kind of go through, and it'll tell you the person's name, what their role is, if there's a decision maker. There's tons of stuff. If you can get into LinkedIn Pro, or if you want to get in LinkedIn Pro, I think it's 70 or 80 bucks a month, but it really does, put business on a platter for you. And when you're interacting with people online, even in person, if you sell to somebody and walk into their office, I would never go for the hard sell right away. I would go with I'm just here to introduce myself. My name is Cat Catrola, and I have a company that does this. Here's my card. Just wanted to say hi, and introduce yourself. And you can do the same thing in social media. So when you first start out talking to people on social media, you don't want to come in with the hard sell. We can save you 30% on your ink and toner cartridges. Please, can I give you a quote? Just reach out, connect with people, just say, hey, look, a lot of times, you can say, I'm just expanding my network, my business network, thought that, you'd be a good connection to have. And just start with that. And then if they connect to you, then they can see your posts when you post. So you can subliminally sell to them socially as well. On there. So, just make sure you're not hard selling, make sure you're talking to people, make sure you are online, because if you're not online, that you're missing out on a ton of possible business. You don't have to have the Sales Navigator to do LinkedIn. You can just do it with regular LinkedIn, and connect to your people, connect to people who are second connections to the people You know, that's a great way to do it. Once you get on LinkedIn, you want to ask your people for referrals. So if you have friends and family or really good customers in your network on LinkedIn, ask them to give you a referral on LinkedIn. When you go to the normal LinkedIn, this is kind of the normal LinkedIn. If you go to your own profile, you will have different, at the very bottom, you'll have different recommendations. And so there's one from Mike Birch. So, you know, these recommendations are like Yelp for business. So people can talk about how great your service is. You're always there for them. You know, this is, you know, a great, you know, company. You know, I would recommend them, that sort of thing, and get those going here. If you want to write articles about, you know, pain points, a lot of times, and this is another thing I've learned with sales, is customers will run from pain more than they'll run to pleasure. So that means if you're going to tell them, I can save you 30% on your ink and toner cartridges, and you know, we offer all these services, that's great and all, but they're going to run faster away from their pain points than they are to pleasure points. So if you tell them, you know, I know that a huge part of, you know, say you're talking to an attorney, I know that a huge part of your overhead is printing, because man, I've seen you guys in their folders and how much, you know, printed material goes into that. I know you probably hate seeing all that, you know, money go out the door. So, you know, I can help you with that, and we can come in and do a consultation, see if your, you know, printers are, you know, the page count is too high. We can swap out printers. We can do all this kind of stuff. And so if you tell them the pain points, like with EasyOrder, I always tell people I used to hate doing quotes. One of the worst part of my sales experience was quoting people, because I hated coming back after a long day of, you know, hitting the pavement and getting in front of people and then coming back and having to quote. I've always wanted to do it the next day. So anyway, you know, always, you know, tell them about their pain points. See, listen to them, ask them what their pain points are. If you don't know, you know, ask them, say, you know, what are you guys, you know, what is the most frustrations you guys have in your printing process? And listen to them more than talk, and you'll, you know, be able to identify what they need from you and go on from that. I think I've gone over kind of everything. Just these are quick little webinar series on, you know, some info about sales, and then how to use EasyOrder to, you know, respond to that kind of stuff. Does anybody have any other questions for me today? If not, I definitely wanted to let you guys know we have a new company that we're partnering with that is a great remanufacturer, and I've got a special deal for you guys for being EasyOrder subscribers and coming to the webinar and everything. If you've ever heard of Liberty Laser Solutions, they're a great company based out of Chicago. They're in the Midwest. They are a remanufacturer of ink and toner cartridges, and they're a great company. They're salt of the earth people. They have a really great process to where the quality is amazing. I know quality is one of the biggest deals in choosing a vendor. And so Liberty Laser Solutions, they're going to push EasyOrder to all their independent dealers that they have. And, you know, we asked them if there's anything they could do for us, for our subscribers. If you fill this form out, it'll go to their salespeople. Their salespeople will call you back. You'll get basically 10% off your order with them from doing this. So for being an EasyOrder customer. Lisa says, have you spoken to CWNA about making them approved vendor for CW? You know, that's really between Liberty and Cartridge World North America. You know, we're presenting this to all of our subscribers, EasyOrder subscribers. We have a lot of Cartridge Worlds, but we also have a ton of independent, you know, dealers who work with us. So yeah, so we're just we got this offer for you. It's going to be 10% off of your order. So, you know, get a big order together and send it their way. Give them a chance. If you've never heard them before, they're a great company. I'm going to be sending a newsletter out to all of our EasyOrder subscribers probably today or tomorrow that kind of talks a little bit more about them. You guys are kind of getting the sneak preview of the offer. So I'll be sending a newsletter out, just kind of, it's a partner spotlight is what we're calling it. They're helping us get more subscribers. And Lisa says, how do we claim this offer? Yeah, the offer will have this link in it to this website. And all you have to do is click on the link. It says in the newsletter, it'll say, click on here to claim the offer. And then you go fill this form out right here. One of their sales reps will contact you. And if you want to get a list of stuff you need together, then you can place an order. They do have an online kind of ordering site, but you have to get a username and password from them before you could just get on an order. So the sales rep will need to talk to you anyway. So this will be a great way for you to try out a new vendor. If you haven't tried them, if you have tried them, it's a great way to get 10% off just for being an EasyOrder subscriber. And we feel that working with people is a great way to kind of be stronger in this industry. So just wanted to give you guys a special offer, and like I said, you'll be getting a newsletter tomorrow or the next day with this offer in it, and just like click the offer on the bottom button to claim the order or the discount on your order. All right, guys. Well, we're doing this every week, so I'll have a new kind of small topic every week. I don't plan for these to last more than 30 minutes. So, once you've registered for one, you're registered for them all. So you don't have to re-register. You just have to, come to the new meeting. I'll be sending out notifications of the next one. So anyway, just we'll see you at the next webinar. And if you guys have any topics or anything you'd like me to go over, feel free to email me, support@RemanResource.com. I can go over, anything else. We're going to kind of be going through the system, pricing, best practices. We can talk about anything you want to. But really, this is just an open forum for you guys to come and just talk to me directly and, maybe learn something that you didn't know. The system's changed so much throughout the years that there may be little tidbits that you find that'll be helpful. But I appreciate you all. Thank you for your time, and I'm going to close the session out. I will be sending everybody a link to this video. We're going to put it on our YouTube channel under weekly webinars, and so all these will be recorded. There's a ton of training up there, so if you guys have a new employee or anything that needs training, you can either contact us for a one-on-one training or go to our YouTube channel where we have tons of videos up there for you guys. All right, I appreciate everybody coming by, and we'll see you next week. Take care.